Drug take-back happening in Sheboygan County. Spreckers to close later this month. Kloss kidnapper not cooperating with investigation. These and other local stories are coming up on this edition of Community News Review.
This is Community News Review, a service of WSCS TV, news content provided by WHBL.
I'm Maddie Pfister, and this is Community News Review for Wednesday, April 17th, 2019. Healthy Sheboygan County 2020, in cooperation with the Wisconsin Department of Justice and the Drug Enforcement Administration, will hold a prescription drug take-back day on Saturday, April 27th. It'll go from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at 5 locations throughout Sheboygan County. The 5 take-back locations are in Sheboygan County are Howards Grove, Village Hall, Oostburg High School, in Plymouth at Generations, in Random Lake at the Fire Department, and in Sheboygan at St. Nicholas Hospital. If Sheboygan County residents are unable to make it to one of the drug take-back day locations, unused medications can also be dropped off at any day at one of the permanent medication drop boxes located at 5 police departments throughout Sheboygan County. Those 5 are in Elkhart Lake, Kohler, Plymouth, Sheboygan, and Sheboygan Falls. As for the guidelines of what can and can't be dropped off, you can find a complete list on the Sheboygan Police Department website. Spreckers Restaurant and Pub in Sheboygan will be closing its doors for good later this month. The closing will take place on April 21st at 3 o'clock p.m. Company officials are citing financial and economic reasons for the decision, adding that it is a very difficult decision for the ownership team to make. The Sheboygan location is independently owned and operated, and all of the other locations in the Dells, Lake Geneva, and Watertown will remain open and will keep operating as usual. Jake Patterson will not be cooperating with the pre-sentencing investigation, and according to online court records, Patterson was advised by his attorneys not to cooperate with the investigation. Patterson relayed this to an agent of the Wisconsin Division of Probation and Parole by a letter on Monday, and in a letter to Barron County Judge James Babler, Agent Jennifer Sem wrote that she will complete the PSI with whatever information she can unless the judge orders her not to. Sem also mentioned that she had met with Patterson on April 10th in Dunn County, where he informed her of the decision. Patterson's lawyer, Charles Glynn, said he could not comment on Patterson's letter on Tuesday morning. Patterson abducted teenager Jamie Kloss in October of 2018 and held her captive in his Gordon home for 88 days. Kloss escaped from Patterson in January of 2019. A $2 million cash bond was set for a 17-year-old accused of killing his grandparents over the weekend. Alexander Cross kept his head down in an Outagamie County courtroom Tuesday afternoon. He was charged with 2 counts of first-degree intentional homicide. According to the criminal complaint, Cross was visiting his grandparents, Dennis and Letha Cross, for the weekend. Dispatch informed the police that a male called to report killing his grandparents and that he was at the home waiting for the police to come and arrest him. According to the police, the victims' bodies were found in the kitchen, and police found shotgun shells and a knife in the kitchen as well. The criminal complaint goes on to say that a folder with typed out plans for killing his grandparents was found in a backpack in a bedroom. Police found a shotgun with 2 gun cases and ammunition in the upstairs bedroom, and according to police, Cross said he shot his grandfather in the head and then shot his grandmother which autopsies confirm that both died from gunshot wounds to the head. Cross could face life in prison if he is convicted. The Wisconsin Supreme Court will decide if Republican lawmakers overstepped their bounds with a handful of laws from last December. The court announced Monday afternoon that it will hear arguments in May about a series of bills and political appointments that were made during a lame duck session in the final weeks of Governor Scott Walker's term in office. The question is whether the legislature stepped on the powers of the incoming governor and attorney governor when they passed a law to keep Governor Evers and Josh Kaul from removing the state from the Obamacare lawsuits. There have been multiple lawsuits. Monday's Supreme Court announcement consolidates most of the cases into one. Different judges had issues conflicting rulings on the matter, although almost all decisions have rolled back or invalidated the lame duck actions. The High Court will hear arguments on May 15th. One lower court ruling said that the legislature was not legally allowed to conduct business in extraordinary session, which has been used to pass hundreds of bills over many years. If the state's highest court does not reverse the ruling, hundreds of laws that have been in the books for years could be invalidated. Another part of the lawsuit limiting early voting to 2 weeks before an election is being heard in federal court and has been blocked from taking effect. And finally, the U.S. Open will return to Wisconsin in 6 years. The U.S. Golf Association announced on Tuesday that the Women's Open will return to Erin Hills in Milwaukee in 2025. The U.S. Mid-Amateur will also come to the course in 2022. The golf course last hosted the Men's U.S. Open in 2017, and this will be the first Women's Open to be held at Erin Hills. Wisconsin's last hosted the Women's Open in 2012 at Black Wolf Run when Na Yeon Chao won her only major. The Women's Open will be held from May 29th through June 1st of 2025, and the Mid-Amateurs will be held from September 10th to the 15th in 2022. And as we close up today, a quick reminder that despite the holidays this week, there is no change in the garbage and recycling collection schedule in the city of Sheboygan. Join me again next week for more local news and information on Community News Review.
News content for this program provided by WHBL in cooperation with WSCS TV.